Hello BBN members, I'm here to show you guys how to edit videos using Adobe Premiere Pro. There are three important parts to editing: organization, editing, and exporting. The first part is organization. Go to the Season 16 desktop and create a folder with your name on it. This is where you're going to store all your files and projects. In your personal folder, create a folder for your project. Name it episode number, underscore, and the title of your project. In that folder, create three subfolders for your assets, footage, and program. Your assets folder will contain your music, graphics, or pictures you've downloaded from the internet. Your footage folder will contain your videos that you filmed. And your program folder will contain the Premiere Pro program. Now open Premiere Pro, create a new project. Because this is summer camp, title it episode 0 underscore Mudhouse. Now choose your location where you want your project to be stored. Go to the Season 16 desktop, go to your personal folder, project folder, and then choose the program subfolder. Everything in the screen should be preset for you guys. This is the interface of Premiere Pro. Here's your timeline where you're going to be editing your video, your project media panel where you're going to be accessing your footage and assets, your effects control where you're going to adjust your effects, and your video preview where the video is going to be displayed. After you finish filming, take your footage from your SD card and store it in your computer. Copy all of your footage and drag it into the footage subfolder. Now that you have imported your footage, you can eject your SD card. The next step is to import your footage into Premiere Pro. Click File, Import, and then go to your footage and import your footage. Another way to import your footage is to just take your footage and drag and drop. Now it's time to start editing. Create a sequence in your project. Click New Item and Sequence. Choose a preset 1080p and 24 frames per second. Title your sequence name Mudhouse. Drag and drop the footage onto the timeline. There are two tracks, one for video and one for audio. This blue marker is the point of reference and the video is displayed on the video preview. To play or pause the video, click the spacebar. Before we can make any cuts, we can see that there's a black border around the video. To make the video fit the screen, right-click and select Scale to Frame Size. Let's watch the video.
Everybody knows to come downtown to the Mudhouse for a great...
As you can see, there's a title screen and an unnecessary silence that we don't need. So let's cut it out. To make a precise cut on a clip, you can zoom in and out of the timeline by clicking the plus or minus sign. Now, access the razor tool by clicking C and click where you want to cut. Switch back to your selection tool by clicking V. Select the clip we don't need and click delete. To bring your video back to the beginning of the timeline, delete the space. To explain what B-roll is, let's watch another clip of Megan.
For coffee shops like the Mudhouse, there is one way to beat the heat, and that's to offer refreshing, cold drinks.
In this clip, she is talking about how the cold drinks are served at the Mudhouse. We can look through our B-roll for footage that can let the viewers visualize what Megan is talking about. So drag and drop the B-roll. Here's a clip of someone preparing a cold drink. Let's cut that out of this clip and delete the extraneous parts. Drag it over, place this track above Megan's.
For coffee shops like the Mudhouse, there is one way to beat the heat, and that's to offer refreshing, cold drinks.
Because this track overlaps Megan's, it will be shown in the video. To turn down the audio of the video, right-click the audio track, scroll down and click Audio Gain. Set the gain to -10.
Coffee shops like the Mudhouse, there is one way to beat the heat, and that's to offer refreshing, cold drinks.
If we want to end the video here, we can add the dip to black effect. Go to the effects panel, video transitions, dissolve, and apply the dip to black.
Shops like the Mud House, there is one way to beat the heat, and that's to offer refreshing, cold drinks.
Now it's time to export your video, but before you do, go to the end of your video and click the markout bar. This will tell Premiere Pro what to export. Now click File, Export, Media, select the format H.264, select the preset HD 1080p 24 frames per second. Now click the output name and save your project as episode0_mudhouse and choose your project folder as the destination of your video. Finally, click use maximum render quality and use previews and click export. Congrats, you have just learned the basics of editing. Once you have finished exporting, go to your project folder and watch your finished project. Don't worry if you're a little confused, because once you get on the computers, refer back to this video and the basic editing procedure sheet, and you'll be able to edit your first project.